Well, I know it's hot out here, so I won't take very long, but I just want to say a few words that we've got a great group of 8 Democrat clubs in this area that work hard to get people out to vote. And so we're very excited to have John as our nominee because that's how he does things. He gets out there and he's at, I think you've all seen it, he's at every event. You know, you're at your kid's birthday party and there's John. You know, wherever you're at, you see John. And John is just a master of being accessible and grassroots, and that's what it takes to build a strong foundation for victory. And that, I think, is a real key to John's victory in the primary, and that's going to be the key to his victory this November. So congratulations.
I'd like to introduce you one more person that's been very instrumental in Patty and my lives. In fact, they're the political power couple, I think, of the San Gabriel Valley. And he's currently the council member sitting in Monterey Park, Michael Ng, and his wife is a current assembly member who's going to be our Board of Equalization representative succeeding John, and Mike's going to be the next assembly member of the 49th District. All right.
Well, I just want to say that this is one of the most important races. No, let me correct that. This is the most important race to me on the November ballot. And I want to tell you, I would gladly trade my victory in the primary, and I'm sure Anthony Portantino will say the same thing, if John Chiang does not make it. That's how serious this race is. It would be absolutely unacceptable for John not to be elected. John is qualified. He's been there for us. How many of you have been to an event that John Chiang has been there? I'll tell you, John Chiang is more accessible than Jesus Christ. I can't believe it. I mean, I asked God for $1 million for my campaign, I don't get any answer. I asked John Chiang to show up for an event, and he's there. You know, so you draw your own conclusions. But seriously, I don't want to start religious. What it's going to take, and he has the same initials as Jesus Christ. And my wife, Judy Chu. Julius Caesar. I just want to make this really short to the point. John can win only if each one of you will go back and do a fundraiser for John. John has to have thousands of these fundraisers in order. It's going to be all about money. There are 3 M's: money, message, and you men and women. Me too, all right? So how many of you will say, me too, I'm going to support John by trying to do a fundraiser for him? Can I see your hands? God's watching you. Okay, anyway, enough about me. Let's hear it for John Chiang. And really, if you really want him to win, you really have to start doing some fundraisers for him. You only have about, how many days are left to the campaign? 4 months. 4 months, 2 hours, and 32 seconds. Thank you, John.
Great. Well, I can't tell you how grateful I am to see all of you. My biggest fear at the end of last election, as I was talking to all of you, is I didn't want to lose that last primary election, considering the considerable effort that all of you put in. I've always run, and with all of your help, a different style of government in Sacramento. You know that. When you talk about the only office in state government to provide free income taxes, the only state office in government to do free financial literacy seminar, the office to start the nonprofit seminars, the office to start work on the underground economy. And I think your work has only lent credence to what we do in my office. So again, I wanted to thank my staff. I have an extraordinary chief of staff who I think is second to none in this state, and that's Audrey Noda. Audrey, I'm trying to coordinate the 800 to 1,200 events that I go to each year. I know many of you talk to Joan Grainer, so Joan, thank you for making that happen. And we get these incredibly bright and talented interns who, frankly, that's what we're fighting for. The work that I want to do in state government as the state controller, if we're going to continue to maintain the same standard of living, we need leadership that is going to reflect that next standard of living. And so as we compete in the global economy, we're competing against people who are absolutely bright and talented. So this state needs to be the leader for this country in terms of renewable energy, in terms of affordable housing, in terms of medical devices and providing health care, and making sure that California once again finds the promise of the best educational system in the world. Because we can't compete unless we find that. And so I've always tried to work in Sacramento to make sure that our government embraces Patty Kinaga and Peter Wong. I know they host this event, but I know a lot of you don't know about their work. Patty's done award-winning work in docudramas talking about the human experience. She's also started a battered women's shelter. She's a prominent attorney here in Southern California, and her husband has the financial and economic talents to have served President Clinton in the White House. And so what I'm trying to do is blend their activism that all of us have in our communities and make sure that's taken to Sacramento. And so that's why I'm fighting for my godson, Brandon, and his sister, Emily, and my intern, Viola, to make sure that they live in a state that reflects the greatest promise of California. This could not be possible without each and every single one of you. When we were outspent by $1 million during the primary election, my team had faith because we were always up in the polls until 2 weeks out, right? So we knew that your energy and your work was helping us keep afloat in the election. But everybody in Sacramento said, you know, we know John and his friends do great work in Los Angeles, but how is he going to communicate that statewide? And so the biggest shock that took place in Sacramento was the day we won. But they said, you know what, we recognize